Sure. About 8:30, 8:20 this evening, National Weather Service issued a tornado warning for southern Madison County. A funnel cloud was spotted in the area of 13 and I-69, and spotters were there from emergency management, our RACES division, and they actually tracked the funnel cloud, or rotation in the clouds, toward Pendleton. And then about 8:20 or so, emergency crews started getting 911 calls of damage, trees down, fire alarms going off as a result of power outages. Emergency crews did respond. There was a delay in getting emergency personnel around the city because at that point, after the storm went through, most all of the roads were blocked with trees, power lines, utility poles, debris, things like that. Emergency crews were called in from other neighboring communities to respond because, if the local fire department was in the midst of the damage, they were able to bring other crews from outside in to get to other areas that needed a response. So as of 1 a.m. this morning, we do have a shelter set up for residents at the Pendleton Heights High School. We have 10 to 15 individuals who have checked into that location at this time that are needing a place to stay. Primary and secondary searches have been completed by fire and EMS crews, so we have started sending fire departments back to their homes, back to their jurisdictions to return in service. Currently, we have about 24 pieces of fire and EMS apparatus here in the town of Pendleton still assisting. We have had one injury that was reported to us. The individual was transported to a local hospital, and it was receiving treatment at that time, and this was a weather storm related injury. So we're still asking residents to remain inside, stay sheltered inside, shelter in place, and utility crews have responded not only from the town of Pendleton, but again, just like fire and EMS and law enforcement mutual aid, they have mutual aid from utility companies as well who have come to Pendleton to start the restoration and getting utilities repaired.
Is the gas leak contained, shut off, taken care of?
So one of the gas leaks that was in downtown Pendleton, there was 2 incidents. One of those has been fixed. I just came through downtown Pendleton and there was no smell of natural gas at this time. The second incident is still, repair crews are still on site at that one.
And where is that second one? Is that
I believe that's Taylor Street, is south in Pendleton. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And you said 10 to 15 families or 10 to 15 people?
10 to 15 individuals is the report I received.
And that's not because necessarily their houses have been blown down, but because they don't feel their houses are structurally safe?
Right. We believe that we've told people, if you feel that your home has damage to your home and you're not able to stay in your home, to go to the Pendleton Heights High School for shelter.
Any indication as to when power will return?
That's the million-dollar question right now. Utility crews from several different towns around central Indiana have come to Pendleton to start working on it. Best estimate at this time is it's going to be 2 to 3, maybe as many as 4 days to get all of the power restored.
2 to 4 days possibly?
2 to 4 days possibly.
Is that because of the extensive damage and the power lines and the trees?
Yes, that is correct.
So will those people be able to seek shelter, I guess, at the high school? I mean, if you don't have power, that's kind of a...
Right, we will work on that. I mean, right now the initial shelter set up at the high school was for the initial response for individuals to go to. The Red Cross has been contacted, so we'll be working with those individuals, and we'll make arrangements to take care of housing for individuals that need shelter, that need to have power. I mean, at this point, the weather is, we're good right now. We're working with the meteorologists at the National Weather Service to determine what that weather is going to be. Tomorrow, we continue to be in this pattern of storms coming across central Indiana. So,
what is the long-term, short-term, obviously, Pendleton Heights is being a good neighbor, but school is still in session, I believe. What's that going to look like? Where will those folks go? And can the school system sustain this long term?
Right. No, you ask a very good question. I think we're working on the initial response, get through tonight with the Red Cross and getting folks taken care of and sheltered, and then tomorrow we'll look at more long-term housing. Plus, at that time, we'll have a better idea of how many individuals' homes are actually affected by this and what do we need to set up for sheltering long-term.
What has been your message to the state's emergency management? Obviously, They must be aware. You've made them aware of this. Have you asked for anything in the way of resources or assistance?
Sure. We've asked for Indiana State Police, conservation officers, Indiana Department of Transportation. Those three agencies were here very quickly after the request was made to come and offer their support and services.
But you've not asked for anything like a big machinery or anything to clear the roads or extra funds because you have damage?
No, we've not requested. There's not been any declaration to that level of the state asking for any kind of financial assistance. We're utilizing local street departments from around Madison County. We're utilizing Madison County Highway, the state highway department. So we're utilizing local city, county, and state resources to clean the roadways.
And Todd, the order is still shelter in place, basically?
Shelter in place,
because
yes.
You don't want people, because of the power lines, right?
Right,
That's
there's
the big
power
thing.
lines on the ground, and it makes for an unsafe environment.
Do you foresee any need for any kind of moving forward, if the power does not return by tomorrow or by Wednesday, a curfew of some kind to maintain? You've asked people to stay out of the, right?
Right, yeah.
What is the prognosis moving forward?
Yeah, those are all questions that we'll deal with tomorrow during the recovery phase. We're still in the response efforts right now, the response phase of the incident. Local law enforcement, the Sheriff Mellinger, the police chief here in Pendleton, they're working together very closely. I know you guys have been out here on the west side of town. There's just a constant flow of law enforcement vehicles that are patrolling the community to keep the town safe. We've not had any reports of loitering or anything like that because we do have such a good law enforcement presence in the community.
First responders are being credited for being on point, being here, and doing their job. Did they have to do any rescues? In light of that, and the fact that you had a massive response from almost everywhere in central Indiana this evening,
right?
Were there any rescues this evening that had to be?
Sure, there were homes. It depends on how much do you call a rescue. You know, there were certainly homes that the firefighters had to go into that that did have damage that they had to get through the doors or go in through windows to get to individuals to help to get them out of their home. Yes.
That's a rescue.
That is a rescue. That is a rescue. You know, there's what I don't want to paint a picture of, all of these homes and just everything completely collapsed and rubble. You know, we see devastating hurricanes and devastating F4, F5 tornadoes where you have homes that are just completely destroyed and families that have just completely lost everything. Fortunately, at this point, we've not seen that kind of destruction.
Which is good news.
It is good news, yes.
You also believe that people really heeded the warning tonight, and so as much as you as an emergency management person, you try to get the word out all the time, right?
We do. I mean, we have a very strong social media presence, and early this morning we started putting messages out about the potential for severe weather. And as the storms came across central Indiana, we were putting that out. We work with you guys, our partner meteorologists, National Weather Service, and there was a lot of information put out to the public in advance that they knew the storms were coming.